Well, a very good morning to you, and thanks for your time this morning. So, just a very general question first is, the Premier saying that, the newly appointed MECs will put the interest of the people first, meet the highest ethical and service delivery standards in the conduct of their work. Give us some idea of, what thought and what considerations went into the choices that he's made for these positions.
Well, obviously, he looked at the mandate, he looked at what the people of Gauteng expect from the government, and having looked at that and clearly understood, the mandate based on the election campaign, he then came to the conclusion that he needs a team of people who will give him the experience that he needs, people who would have been in government before, but he also needs people who will bring fresh ideas, and he needs people who will bring energy, and all of those things collectively would give him a team that will be able to fulfill the mandate of the sixth administration.
Well, from overseeing Gauteng's classrooms, Panyaza Lesufi, who's been known to be very active as the way he managed that portfolio, he's now going to be managing the purses of the province and e-government. Can you just tell us exactly what is this new portfolio?
Well, this is the portfolio. It has been there. It was occupied by Barbara Creasy before, and she also did a great job. You would recall that one of the things that we did, we introduced the open tender system, which ensures that all tenders above 2 million rand are adjudicated in a transparent manner, so that nobody can complain, everybody can see how we arrived at the decision to award the tenders. So we continue with that, and also one of the major achievements would include major improvement in the financial accounting. So MEC Panyaza Lesufi will be able to continue with that, and of course this portfolio includes the component of e-government. Now, that is very important, because one of the things that we want to do in Gauteng is to modernize public service. So we believe that, or Premier Makhura believes that Panyaza Lesufi would be able to lead in this project, especially given his experience in the portfolio of education.
Thabo, just looking at the rest of the names here, now I'm looking at Faith Maziboko, who was embroiled in some controversy over that rant in that meeting, and I suppose the Premier might be asked, why would you keep somebody like that and put them in a portfolio like community safety?
I think, as I said, the Premier looked at the experience, the energy that he needs from his team, as well as the fresh ideas. So when you look at all of these people, especially some of the new people who were not in the Executive Council before, the Premier is satisfied that all of them collectively give him that experience, fresh ideas and energy that is required to take Gauteng forward.
Okay, now this new executive is going to be sworn in tomorrow at MON Conference Center. I made a comment earlier that when I saw that it is the MON Conference Center, I thought maybe it's how you're trying to manage costs down. Is that a fair assessment?
Well, yeah, MON Conference Center, this is not going to be a huge ceremony. It's a small ceremony. All the 10 MECs will be together, and a few government officials. And then the judge will come in and administer oath. And once all that is done, all of them will get down to work. They then immediately assume their responsibilities. So yes, it was never planned to be a huge ceremony. Of course, yes, you are right that we have to look at the cost and make sure that whatever we do not spend a lot of money on ceremonies, but rather spend money where it is most needed.
Very quickly, I mean, I don't know everybody who's on this list. We know some of the names. You spoke about fresh ideas, new energy. Who's completely new? Who's a first-timer in this Executive Council?
There are about 6 people who are new. If you look at somebody like Bandile Masuku in the health portfolio, he is new, but of course not new to the health portfolio itself, but he is new as a member of the Executive Council. Mbali Shope, who is now the MEC for Sport, Arts, Culture and Recreation, she is also new and also one of the younger members of the Executive Council. And then we've got Dr. Hosien Tsoramukgopa, the former mayor of Tshwane, is in the portfolio of economic development, which includes agriculture and environment. He is also new. Chasnim Mutara is responsible for infrastructure development and property management, also one of the younger members of the Executive Council, and I believe one of those who will bring fresh ideas. So also a new MEC, and Tuliswa Nkabinde Kawe, also new. She's also going to be in the portfolio of social development. She has served in the provincial legislature before, but now she assumes a responsibility in the Executive Council.
Thabo, just looking at the names here, and of the 10, I see there's an exactly half of them are women. There's 5 of them who are women. Was that a conscientious decision? Was it a choice to say we have to have so many women who will be part of this team? Or, like you say, was it the best person for the job?
Yeah, the best person for the job, but Premier David Makhura, even in his previous Executive Council, he has always ensured that there's a fair gender balance, that he has a sufficient number of women in the Executive Council. So he continues with that. He will ensure that whenever he appoints, even if there's a vacancy in future, he will ensure that he maintains that balance.
Okay, thank you very much, Thabo Masebe. You said there were 6 new members, but you counted 5. Is Nomantu Nkomorale Hoko, MEC for Education, new as well?
Yes, she's now the MEC for Education. And you know she was the Deputy Speaker of the Legislature. She's also the Deputy Secretary of the ANC in the province. So that's, again, one of the people with experience from the legislature and from the party itself. So, as I said, collectively, all of these people give Premier David Makhura the perfect team that he requires to implement this program.
And is your job still safe as a spokesperson of Gauteng Government?
Well, I get appointed by the leaders, so I don't know. It depends on them if they believe I'm doing a good job. So hopefully they still require my services.
Yeah, well, we believe you're doing a good job. Thank you very much, Thabo Masebe, the spokesperson for the government of Gauteng, on the announcement, finally, of the new Executive Council that will be leading this province over the next 5 years.
Yeah, it all becomes official tomorrow. That's when the swearing-in happens, although I still suppose there will be some question marks over some of the choices, like I touched on Faith Mazibuko earlier. If the Premier says we're looking for people with the highest ethical and service delivery standards, if we remember the issues around that rant and what she was upset with her staff for doing, I wonder if people are going to be happy about some of the choices. And
I'm sure there'll be lots of digging in of some of the new members, who they are, what they bring into the party, so to speak. So in the next few days, we'll begin to understand more and more about the new MECs.